it's you! Come on in and join us.
In 1984, the greatest cinematic masterpiece of all time was released in American cinemas, known as Breakin'. And later, that same year, the sequel was released, toppling all expectations we could have possibly had for what a sequel can do. And we were gifted, direct from the heavens, Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo. If you were there in the 80s, you know. And today is a soap homage to that very same movie from Sean and MacDuff himself from MacDuff's Soap Company.
It's a beautiful morning with the Barbershop Duet.
Hi, I'm Marcus Klinger with Klinger Vocal Studio.
And I'm Sarah Vincent with Sarah Vincent Virtual Pilates.
But on Wednesdays and Saturdays,
we are the Barbershop Duet.
Hey, y'all, come on in. Thank you for finding our little barbershop. If you happen to be here during one of the live premieres on YouTube, why, come on in the live chat. Meet the Whiff Pack, a cool group of friends hanging out from all over the world. They'd love to meet you too.
They would. And for our mention today, we wanted to talk about the original Alberta Boys so you can see what Alberta Boys 2 is basing things off of. Here are the scent notes: cherry liqueur, limoncello, florals, cedar, sandalwood, oud, and tonka.
Now, y'all, we have it on good authority that the cherry in the middle of Alberta Boys might be a bit of an homage to Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, and for some reason past the understanding, one of the only homages to Lost Cherry in the wet shaving world. HSSC, I'm looking at you. Thank you for that one, too. But it seems like the cherry might have fallen a bit far from the tree today because it has been subbed out for peach. Why don't we meet the soap? All right, y'all, from the sales page at MacDuffSoapCompany.com. You know the drill. Sequels promise all new, but secretly they keep the bits you loved the first time. That's the point. The oud's still there. The stone fruit swagger is still there. But cherry, gone. Replaced with peach, juicier, sunnier, and maybe a bit cockier.
Blood orange, cardamom, rum, and limoncello keep the opening punchy. Incense, rose, and patchouli throw in some drama. The ending, tobacco, sandalwood, vanilla, tonka, and that same electric oud you can't quit. It's not a reboot. It's not a reimagining. It's Alberta Boys 2, Electric Oudaloo.
So y'all grab your boom boxes and the biggest piece of cardboard you can find when we open the box. All right, y'all, here's how they come from far off Alberta, just north of us in Canada. And y'all, if I know Sean, he has included a no.
He was busy. It's
Really?
a new drop.
Really,
it's okay.
Sean?
It's
Really?
okay.
Really? Oh, but wait a minute.
Yeah?
There is an extra little something in here. It is simply labeled bourbon. My family actually has a long history of taking bourbon out of brown paper bags. And in case we're about to ruin a first impression, we will reach out to Sean and figure out what exactly this little beauty is. And y'all, this might be the very first soap that if it didn't come with soap, I would buy it just for the label. Look at that, y'all. Don't those colors just scream 1980s synthwave glory?
I would just like to point out how dapper they were in this one. And that one, they have just the fun.
That's what the 80s will do to you, y'all. You start off like that and you end up like this. Well, why don't we have our first impression? Look at how the neon lights are reflecting in their glasses. Y'all, I love these new labels from Sean and MacDuff, especially because they have MacDuff on them. Not that you're not darling, Sean, you are. All right, take that in, see what you get.
Woo-wee! Okay, it has, surprisingly, been our summer of peach. But this seems like a whole different vibe and switch up on peach if that's what cherry was here.
Right.
I can only imagine how the peach is being used here.
Well, I wonder, because Tom Ford is notoriously known for the Tweedledee and Tweedledum of those single note scent releases, Lost Cherry and Bitter Peach. I wonder if we might be discovering a little of the latter under the hood of this, but we'll find out when you have your first impression. Remember the Awakenings from Hogs? That one. Beautiful. All right, take it in, see what you
With
get.
a spin, because gourmands and Sean are good friends.
Always.
So
You can make a
there's the
gourmand out of just about any cabin you can imagine. Then he burns it to the ground. All right, take it in, see what you get.
in.
Is the peach bitter? What are we talking about? Old Tom Ford in there? What do you think?
Well, it starts off very bright and luxurious somehow.
Nice.
It doesn't go bitter. So it's much more the sweets, the prettier, like neon kind of versions of the peach. It's for sure in there. But then there are dapper layers of things that are happening. The oud, I think, then kind of turns into like a more woods and light spices and stuff. Hold on. There's a lot past the peach.
Wow. Okay.
It's interesting because I forget peach is a stone fruit, and I'm almost getting like that kind of stoniness jumps into the ouds. And the ouds, I don't know how. It doesn't go as dark as I was expecting. Gotcha. It kind of keeps it in a little bit more of a summer vibe. I don't know exactly what jumps in next. It must be like a lighter wood, maybe the tobacco, tonka-ness kind of thing. Not that it stays sweet, but it just kind of pauses on the spicy part of the oud and keeps rolling with something kind of fun going that direction.
Gotcha. Ooh.
Let me see if I can figure it out.
Yeah.
I almost get like the fuzzy side of the peach, and then it turns into more of a peach liqueur kind of a thing. Like there's something that kind of happened to it. It spent some time brewing, and it kind of changed its character. So it has a fun side, but you don't need to be in a suit like the Alberta boys kind of label here.
Gotcha.
Something in this one, you could be wearing more of the 80s getup. You could also be wearing more normal day clothes. There's something in the middle that I'm getting much more daytime out of. So like the summer fun, like you want to be hanging out outside. There's something in that. So the charm of the peach really put a different spin on the original base of the other one. Gotcha. So the oud is there, and it has a little hint of going more masculine. And then it jumps into like a creamy spice. That's where I think I was stuck on the stone fruit thing. Okay. And I maybe it's more like a sandalwood or something, because it doesn't go quite gourmandy, but it does stay like a little more creamy and fun somehow.
I love it.
I can't get over the initial whiff of the peach. There's something that makes me know I'm like 80s vibes going on. And I don't know, it almost is like a peach meets an apricot, but it's more the pinky peach side that wins. But the fun nostalgic side that comes in, and then it flips, and then it goes like more stone fruit, then it goes boozy, and then it kind of has more the masculine thing. And I'm sure once I reread those scent notes, it'll all make sense, but I don't really want to pull them apart. There's something in the magic of how they're vibing together that I just want to indulge in what that's creating. So I know I keep saying it kind of gets a little more masculine, but I wouldn't not wear this. So there's something in it that I think just cleans up a little. It's a little more dapper, like you put thought into your outfit, but it's got the vibrancy of the 80s all turned up. Beautiful. So I do feel like this one has more of like, you could be wearing this out in a suit or something. Not that you have to, but that doesn't quite get as fancy here. It kind of puts a cap on it where it's more like the fun kind of outing, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and y'all, between Princess Peach and my sister's strawberry shortcake peach doll that blew peach flavored kisses, the 80s was basically laden with beautiful peachy scents everywhere you look. So I love that this is an homage to the 80s itself.
But it's an homage to us now looking back at the 80s. Like, we will appreciate it knowing that journey somehow. I think that is like where I'm getting stuck in and just enjoying. My more mature nose likes taking the ride from the 80s version into the current end of this whiff, because it does, you can't not smile when you smell this. I feel like it just brings out the summer fun, but then it kind of even has a little bit of a spring action because of all like the fruitiness that brings you in, maybe?
I'm all for some spring action. All right, let me take this in, see if I can smell these colors. I kind of hope I can. All right, ready? Ooh, lovely pour. Look at that. All right. Oh, y'all, this is the perfect 80s peach. It's not bitter peach. It's not Tom Ford. And it does not go soapy. It does not go floral the way most of our peaches do. This is different. This dives down into the candied sweetness of the peach, which normally you don't really see. Ooh, hold on. And y'all, way more reminiscent of the 80s peach candies or those strawberry shortcake kisses than it is like Immortal Peach or something like that from PAA. It is not the ripe Georgia peach on the vine. It's the nostalgic, dreamy peach, which has more of a sense of peaches and cream than it does the actual fruit on the vine. And then when that meets with a boozy sense, that's the next wave that hits me. Just gives it a beautiful spiciness, gives it a little bit of like clover, something like that under the surface. And then that goes down into other things. Hold on. And then something like equal parts citrus and floral under the surface are what are supporting this with such a beautiful, sweet, clean, masculine nature. Something creamy, something sandalwoody, and I have no idea how Sean gets that sense to be so gourmandy, but my mouth is watering. Even the parts of this that aren't gourmandy have been turned gourmandy in this balance. It's amazing. Hold on.
I think there was a tobacco. There was something in there.
I would not be surprised. But it's not crazy prominent. It's only adding part of that spiciness to this.
Check out for the oud, since this is electric
It's
Oudaloo.
Oudaloo. Okay, hold on.
Dive for the oud. It's masterfully snuck in there.
You know what he's done here? Like mixing music. He has just turned up the oud until it presents as a little bit of a salty smoke. And that's where it levels off. But y'all, if you've ever been given a bowl of peaches, put a little salt on those and amazing things happen. That's what that's bringing out in the oud itself. It's not presenting sort of a spicy, danky character in here at all. It's just supporting that beautiful peachy note in the middle. And y'all, if those super floral, super soapy peaches do bug your nose a little bit as the day progresses, this is totally different. This is almost what like an IHOP peach maple syrup would smell like.
There you go.
That's the lane of this peach.
Yeah, there's nothing pokey about this peach at all.
And the sweetness is not done with like an actual jasmine floral. I think it's florals, but they're giving this the sense of a powdered sugar rather than a flower. Wow.
I think this is probably like one of those super crowd-pleasing peaches, if that makes sense. Like the
Yeah.
way it's mixing in with the rest of this. The peach is for sure there, but it's not like taking all the attention out of the whiff.
And it's funny that you mentioned stone fruit and that we do know that Sean has a fabulous history and quite an affinity for stone fruit themselves, because I'm actually getting the whiff I get when I smell the peach pit.
Yeah.
And it's got those kind of red strings on it. And it's almost a honey character. That is what I'm getting in the heart of this. It's stone fruit.
Then somehow that almost turns into like a woodsy kind of
Yes.
like it just takes you from the
Turns
stone
spicy
into wood.
immediately, and then the salt of the oud and that smoke move in to envelop it.
There were a lot of scent notes, so I don't even remember half of them, but I feel like we're getting a good general idea of how they're all blending.
Well, there's one way to review our situation here and even build a lather to boot. Why don't you come along with us? All right, y'all, from the sales page at MacDuffSoapCompany.com, we start with scent notes of...
Wow, it straight up says peach flesh.
Love that.
So I think earlier we were trying to decide if there was any in there, and clearly there is.
The heart of the fruit against the pit itself. And then...
Blood orange. Oh,
Love
that's what's
that.
rounding it out, because I got a color that was more pinky. I thought it was leaning towards apricot, but no, this is the magic here.
That's why. Almost like a tangerine-y sense under the surface of this. Oh, and then a scent that is a little bit tricky to get this year because the crop was a little bit decimated, so it's super expensive. We appreciate this. Cardamom is in the middle of this. A beautiful, warm, huggy spice that I even put in my mashed potatoes and coffee, followed by...
These were in the other one, rum and limoncello.
that. And then incense. I love how that's kind of separate from oud because
Yeah.
oud is an incense, which means there might be a little bit of a frankincense.
But you said
going on in
smoky-ish
there, or
earlier,
something
too.
else, right? Oh, and then these are a little bit unexpected. We hit,
Rose and rosewood. So maybe that's the stone fruitiness with the rosewood?
and then a little patchouli at maybe 3% under the surface of this. If you are not a patchouli fan, you have to search around for it in here with two hands and a flashlight. Tobacco leaves. I love that. That's almost what's giving me the sense of maple in here, y'all. The spices against that beautiful cured tobacco. And then I was right about something. We've got some sandalwood and vanilla hiding under the surface of this. And for a little bit of a clean coumarin note, we're going to bring in some tonka bean to go along with that vanilla and some cedarwood, rounding out with our Oudaloo. Oh, I love this creation.
But that's why I think this doesn't go so deep. Like the sandalwood, vanilla, tonka bean, and cedar almost create that creaminess we were talking about. And then the oud just has that fun little kind of secret spice on the way out.
This reminds me of the Halloween soap from last year that
a
we
little
loved
bit.
so much. What was that
Right.
called? Hollow Sky. That's what it is.
Because that had some stone fruits in it too. Like
Right.
there's something in that. If out of all the lineup that we have in our den, that would probably be the closest where this jumps from this
Right.
to anything else in the den.
Now, the big question on everybody's lips.
Yeah, they're chapped lips.
On their chapped lips,
Chapped.
right.
Are these very similar, where he has just subbed out the peach and the cherry, or is there more going on in the differences between these two? So this is something you will only find here on the Barbershop Duet. This is the Which Alberta Boys is Better, the original or the Oudaloo? On 3, 1, 2. Oh, they're remarkably close.
This goes like super summertime for
Yes,
me. Like,
right.
But the mid and basses are very close.
You know what this is for me? This is your evening out in the 80s, and this is the morning that you have before.
There you go.
In the 80s. That's what this is. And where did you get this fabulous hardware that's almost 80s colors?
It is. This is my custom set that I got from AKA Brushwork. They even turned it live so we could watch. But I just gave them my color selections, which are kind of 80s fun, I'm not going to lie. And they even add a little silver flakes in there just for me.
So, y'all, we're going to grab a little bit of this super soft soap. Look at that. And then our first goal is going to be to transfer that soap onto the bristles of the brush. So Sarah's going to use her finger, a little heat, and a little friction to create a thin, wide layer of soap over half the surface of that shaving bowl. And that way it jumps up onto the brush before we actually start making the lather. And that is key, because in the old days, we would start with these giant bubbles that we couldn't really get to go away. Maybe 20 sprays with the old Sean and Julie Memorial Bougie sprayer. MacDuff's can be a thirsty soap. All right, y'all, and with this dry brush, that's right. Send your complaints to Craig at Opus Brush. He will not care. We're going to go forwards. We're going to go backwards. We're going to start transferring the soap onto the bristles of that brush before we start making our lather. And about every 25 seconds, turn the brush in your hand. It's going to give those bristles a new orientation with which to grab at that soap. And here's what I love about MacDuff's. Within about 30 seconds, it's gone. It's no longer in the shade bowl. It's hiding there on the brush. Well, now we're going to go down and grab the water at the bottom of that shade bowl and start to build our lather in earnest. But y'all, let's face it, the last 30% of your lathering is still done on the face. That's why we like to load the soap onto the bristles and build the lather from there. And what started as maybe almost pasty at the bottom of the bowl is now just bursting forth with lots of tiny bubbles. There's just something hospitable in the sense from MacDuff's. You just have a way of smelling that you're among friends. Mm-hmm. Well, you know how your favorite people always invite you in and offer you something out of the cupboard, or a little cookie or a little tea? That's why he's the king of gourmands. Oh, you are doing a beautiful job over there. She is our lather queen, y'all.
All right, I know we never talk about lather, but you saw how little he put in there. And it is still like exploding off of the brush.
Beautiful. And y'all, while we love watching lathered Yeti shave his face, we don't do shaving here in the Barbershop Duet. However, we thought you might like to see and glean a little information off of how this lather coats and covers a face. So we will show you that here on the show. Look at that. Just goes on thick and protective. Makes me know my razor can take some passes that it might normally be a little afraid to take. How does anyone experiencing this ever go back to Barbasol? I'm not sure.
It's interesting because most of our other peach ones are very obviously peach. This one, the peach stays with you throughout the whiff, but it's still like a little secret in the back of the whiff the whole time.
Yeah, you're right. I wouldn't even say this is necessarily like peach forward. I think it's the first sense that you get.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't like say this is a peach soap.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful summer, spicy, darker, late afternoon, early evening magenta and turquoise scent.
Which is fun because we have Little Caribbean that we started our summer whiffs off from MacDuff's, and now we're going to end in our summer fun with a little this action.
I wonder what he's going to do for Halloween this year. We might go back to a haunted cabin or burn one to the ground. And y'all, the ripest peaches have already fallen to the ground. Why don't we take this a little bit deeper and see what there is left to discover?
There's something about the peach in here that is kind of what I think my brain always pictures as peach.
Oh.
Maybe it's from me being from the 80s too. There's something about the 80s side of the peach, but this is the most familiar version of a peach to me. I don't know if it was like a chapstick or something I had that kind of veered more towards this lane.
Right.
But some of the other peaches are either the scratch and sniff kind, or they're so real that you want to take a bite. This is like a kind of perfect in the middle peach.
That's a great distinction, because when I do smell the others, I'm like, wow, that's a peach in ways I wasn't expecting, and I am mesmerized by it. But y'all, when an artisan can actually nail that nostalgic peach that you have had hiding in the back of your mind, That's glory, and that's what this is.
It's like scratching an itch you didn't know you had. It's just like, that's the one.
And I love that while the base notes of this are woody, they go more creamy than woody, almost adding a sense of cream to the peaches. So you're getting that peaches and cream hit.
It's interesting because, again, going to some of our other peach ones, I don't always want that same intensity of peach to be with me throughout the day.
Right.
But there's something about this one that I would want the EDP of because I don't think I would ever get bored or overwhelmed by that side of the peach that is throughout the whiff.
You're right. I don't know why, but this is the one peach scent of all the ones we've had where that EDP could stay on my shoulder beautifully all day. And even if I got hungry, this wouldn't get pokey.
Yeah. It's almost creating like a guava.
Yes, meeting with the sandalwood under the surface. And I think even Crybaby Milk has a guava sense in the middle of it. Just beautiful, being used in the same way here.
Maybe it's that blood orange. There's something with that and how he and the peach are friends in this.
So it's pretty simple, y'all. Just be a kid in the 80s on his way to see a double feature of Back to the Future 2 and Brewster's Millions. Your mom's going to pack you a box of screaming yellow zonkers so you don't have to pay for the movie theater popcorn. But just about the time you get home and you find out your sister's been given this beautiful peachy doll from Strawberry Shortcake and it gives peachy flavored kisses, you're going to just sit and squeeze that while you watch TV and get your own. So head over to MacDuff'sSoapCompany.com to find this and a bunch of other cool stuff.
All right, y'all, I am back from my shave, and boy, was it enjoyable. I love that we got this kind of nearing at the end of summer because it does have that wonderful peach side that adds a little fun, summery vibes, and then it has that oudie side that kind of adds a little more mature, leaning into fall kind of thing. So I think this is the perfect one from summer to fall for me. I will reach for this often, and boy, is this trusty lather a good friend to have for a shave, and I just couldn't stop smiling. So thank you, Sean. We'll be back for more soon. Welcome to our September giveaway.
To celebrate the month that we are getting married, our giveaway this month is a 30 milliliter bottle, the only one that exists, of the custom EDP that we had designed as our wedding favor by Adopted Acres. It is called Redwood Rhapsody. All you have to do to be eligible to receive this singular, one-of-a-kind unobtainium is send an email to WeSentYou@theBarbershopDuet.com so that we can get back to you. It's the only way we communicate about our giveaways. And then check back here on our first October episode to see if you are our lucky winner.
Best of luck. We should see if Lainey will pick her favorite.
Oh, well, that's interesting, since these are made by a dog.
Right?
All right, let's see. How do we do this? All right, Lainey, which one do you like, left or right?
She's kind of pointing to that one.
Clearly, she's a fan of the sequel, but aren't we all?
Yeah. I mean, if I could have an outfit like that, I would love to rock this right.
100%. These are my favorite colors in the whole world.
Yes, I don't know how he knew, but this was branded just for you.
He knows my heart. Any guy who knows that Dr. Pulaski was a far superior physician to Dr. Crusher is the one you want making your soaps.
I'm so glad we snuck this in because this week it has been finally above 80 degrees and I feel like we can fully appreciate the little bit of summer.
We need a summer scent quick. We've only got 4 days left. Well, Sean, MacDuff, thank you for making some of our favorite surprising outside-the-box scents, but also for knowing when we might need a flanker to one that is absolutely beloved. These are going to be some fantastic bookends in our shaved head.
Oh, I just want to stare at them all day. Don't forget your next appointment with the Barbershop Duet.
You'll smell better just watching this.